Hey, Rose here with another online dating tip for you. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are talking about things they are not telling you about interracial relationships and interracial marriages. Okay, so in this video I want to focus on ideas that our young African women have about interracial relationships and interracial marriages, and they have these ideas based on what they are seeing on social media. A lot of young African women tend to believe that getting married outside your culture, and especially getting married to a white man, means that you get to enjoy the best of both worlds. I will explain what I mean. I mean, you get married to a white man, but you still act as if you're single. Okay? You just behave the way you used to behave before you got married. Okay? So you are married, but then you are going out with your friends just the way you used to go. You are with your single friends just the way you used to. You stay late out at night, you get drunk like you used to, you go clubbing just like you used to, you just do all the things that you used to do. In fact, the only difference now is that you have a ring and a marriage certificate and you have access to this white man's money, so you get to go out there and live your best life. That is a lie. Okay? And this thing happens a lot with couples who are in long distance marriages. You know, those people who got married and now they have to process their visas, therefore they are separated because of the visa. And what they are not telling you is the fights that they are having and the lies that they are telling. Okay? They are not telling you the fights they are having because this young lady is going clubbing and the man is maybe also doing other things, and they are not telling you that their marriage is shaky because of this misconception about getting married to a white man. Try to open your eyes and just to show you that men are just men. Okay? You will find a white man who is very strict. Okay? You might also find a white man who is flexible. He's okay going clubbing, maybe if you go clubbing together with him, okay? Then you might find somebody who will be okay with you going out with your friends. But I don't think there is a man out there, African, American, European, Asian, who will be so comfortable knowing that his wife is out there at 2 o'clock in the morning, drunk, not knowing what is happening around her. I don't think there is a man who will be comfortable and happy with that, especially if he's in another country and the wife is in another country. You know, if he really loves you, he's gonna be constantly worried about what you're doing, you know, when you're going to those clubs and who you are doing it with. And this is how you find a lot of interracial couples after they get together and they get married. Then you find women coming on social media complaining, oh, he's controlling, he's always asking about my whereabouts and he's keeping tabs on me and things like that. But this is because you went there with false expectations. Okay, you went there thinking that because you're married to a white man, you get to do whatever you want. You know, it's more like you're married, but you just get to do whatever you want. Nobody will ask you any questions. That's not how it works. If you're in a traditional marriage, the normal marriage, because obviously I know a lot of people will come to my page and they'll be like, well, these days there are different kinds of marriages. We have open marriages where people just do whatever they want. We have flexible marriages where we have the paperwork, but everybody just gets to do them. Those are not the kinds of marriages that I'm referring to. I'm just referring to a traditional, normal marriage. Just a man and a woman coming together, getting married and trying to build a life together. You know, just building a home, just being together, being faithful to each other, and just having a traditional marriage. Those ones still exist. So, if you want to get involved with somebody who is actually looking for that traditional marriage where it's just a man and a woman being in a marriage, then you need to understand that just because he's a white man does not mean that you get to act single, yet you are married. That's not gonna work, okay? And I know a lot of women see these things on social media, because you see somebody who, Bibi ya Muzungu, is out clubbing, you know, at 2 o'clock, they're out there, at 3 o'clock, in fact, they are there the whole night just clubbing, and yet they got the ring on their finger and they're married and everything. And then you're like, oh my goodness, yeah, that's the kind of life I want, you know. I want to be married, but then I want to do whatever I want. That is gonna be tough. Okay, that is gonna be tough, because first of all, you have to find that kind of person who is gonna be comfortable with you doing those things. Okay, and also they are also gonna be doing them. I feel like then you're gonna be doing you, and he's gonna be doing him, and that's it. You know, he goes out clubbing with God knows who, and you go out clubbing with God knows who, and I guess it is what it is. And I feel like a lot of our African women, it's like they really don't know what they want, because on one end they're like, I want a man who is serious about me, a man who is gonna be a good husband. Yes, you want him to be a good husband. You want him to give you money, of course. You want him to support you financially. You want him to give you that comfortable lifestyle. You want to lead this luxurious lifestyle. But at the same time, you want him to provide all these things, but you still want to go out there and act single. You want to dress however you like. You want to go and do, you know, good luck with that. If you find that kind of man who is comfortable with you behaving like that, you know, him not knowing what you're up to, especially during the early stages of your marriage, when you are still sorting out your visa, when you are still in Africa, let's say you are still in Kenya and he's in Europe, in United States, in Canada, he's over there, and you are over here, and you're doing you. Good luck finding that kind of man, because in my opinion, as I keep saying, men are just men. And this is why I don't usually answer questions about how are American men, how are European men, because it really depends on the kind of person you meet. It depends on that individual you are talking to. If you find that individual who is gonna let you go clubbing and drinking and doing all those things, then good for you. But chances are, if you're looking for a traditional marriage, you're looking for somebody to live with as husband and wife, with all the challenges that come with marriages. And actually, let's talk a little bit about this, because a lot of people who post things on social media, as I keep saying, they show you what they want you to see. So you tend to think that being in an interracial marriage, it means smooth sail all the way. It doesn't mean that, okay? It doesn't mean that if you are in an interracial marriage or interracial relationship, it doesn't mean it's gonna be smooth sail, okay? You'll have ups and you'll have downs, just like any other relationship, because this relationship, first of all, it's got more challenges than other relationship. Because if you're used to dating Kenyan men, for example, you guys share similar culture. You have the same culture, honestly. So there are things that you don't really have to explain to your man if he's an African man. Like, for example, you don't have to explain to him that you have to do things for your relatives. You don't have to explain to him that he needs to pay all the bills. You don't have to explain anything to him. But when you come to this other culture, you find there are things that you have to explain, and you're gonna be so frustrated, because you're like, why don't you know that? Like, why do I have to explain that? So there are challenges, of course, but coming to this marriage thinking that you're just gonna have this extreme freedom where nobody is gonna ask you anything, you don't have to report anything to anyone. Actually, you're gonna be doing a lot of reporting. You're going to be doing a lot of reporting, and it's not because it's not because he wants to be controlling. It's not because maybe he wants to know your every move. But I feel like it's just common decency to let the person you're with, your husband or your boyfriend or your fiance, to let them know where you are and what you're up to. So, and this is something that as African women we struggle with. I feel like, because I have spoken to a lot of African women who are in these interracial relationships, and this is something that they keep complaining a lot. But it is what it is. It's a different culture. You are involved with somebody who comes from a different background, so you have a lot to learn. Okay, so if he's gonna complain that you're clubbing and you're going out with your single friends and you're doing all this, you shouldn't say, okay, this mzungu, oh, mzungu ni mbaya, this mzungu, there's something wrong with him. It's just him. It's just the person that you have met. Do you know that there are even some white people who, once they find an African woman, they want to change you. They want to change your style, your hairstyle, the way you dress, the way you put on your makeup, the way you do your nails, there are some who do that. Okay? There are some who even go to the extreme where they, especially these religious people, they want you to live like a mokorino. Actually, even wakorinos these days, they are wearing makeup. But there are some who don't want you to put on makeup. They don't want you to show your hair. They don't want you to wear short clothes. They don't want you to wear jeans. They don't want you to wear... Okay. Let me not go there for now. But the purpose of this video was just to open your eyes. Don't think that going into an interracial relationship, that it gives you extreme freedom to do whatever you want, and that all this relationship brings to you is money, doing the things that you used to do on a higher level because now you have money. That's not what it means, okay? It means you get in a relationship with someone and then you just make it work. Sometimes you're gonna have problems, okay? And then sometimes it's gonna be smooth sail. It's just gonna be like any other relationship. This is the thing. I don't want African women going into interracial relationships expecting things that are not reality. They have unrealistic expectations when it comes to interracial relationships, interracial marriages, okay? They expect, well, since I'm in this relationship, I'm gonna be rich, I'm not gonna be cleaning my house, I'm not gonna be doing anything. My job is just to sit down and watch Netflix and chill and book my spa dates and order things on internet, and that's gonna be my lifestyle because this man is supposed to give me soft life and he's supposed to give me money. So I go out with my friends whenever I want. I come back home whenever I want, whichever time I want to come back. Or in fact, I could even decide not to come home. No. That in a traditional marriage, a normal marriage, that's not how it works. That's not how it's gonna be. If you have a husband, you're just going to be a married woman and behave like a married woman. If you go out with your husband, then you go out. If you go out with your girlfriends, of course you'll go out. If you go out shopping, of course, but then your husband will know where you are and what you're up to, because you're going to tell him. Because you're going to tell him, and you're gonna come back home the time a wife is supposed to come back home. Unless, of course, it's a different kind of marriage, which in that case I'm not gonna address that, because then you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you guys agree to do in your marriage. But generally, in a normal marriage, you just act like a married woman. I'm not saying that you're gonna be boring. I'm not saying that now you're gonna change your personality and be boring, but there are some things that you're gonna have to adjust. If you are being honest with each other, there are things that you're gonna have to adjust in order for this marriage to work. But unfortunately, there are also young women who are going into interracial marriages not with the mindset that they are going to make it work, but they are just going there because they have personal gains. There are things that they want to gain from this marriage, and once they gain those things, they are out. That's a different case. That's a different case. And we were actually discussing this issue with some friends on TikTok, and we said, how is it that you can be with somebody for immigration purposes? Because we are like, how do you put up with somebody for 3-4 years, somebody you don't love, somebody you don't have a connection with, and how does it work? But then there was a lady who said, well, you know what, you don't invest your emotions, so whatever the other person does, you don't care, so it doesn't affect you because you don't care. That's how it works. So if that is the case, then I have nothing to say about that. For me, I was really referring to two people who love each other and they're trying to actually have a normal marriage. They're trying to build a home together. They're trying to have a loving relationship. Those are the kinds of people I was trying to address in this video. So anyway, if you like my content, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Here we talk about interracial dating, online dating. We talk about relocating when you have to relocate to another country and things like that. So my name is Rose. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel today, and I shall see you on my next one. Bye bye for now.